Hello, yes, Ghost Critic back with a second video and his pick of the week. You will already know by the title of this video what my pick of the week is, and yes, it was a huge surprise for me as well. It's an event book and I'm not usually a huge fan of these things, but there can be no doubt in my mind that this is just it's almost a work of genius. This is how much I am liking Flashpoint. Now, before I start, 2 points. The obvious one, this is full of spoilers. If you have not read Flashpoint 3 yet, please don't have a go at me when you watch the rest of this and I spoil it all for you. Do not come crying to me. Stop the video now. Read it, come back and join in. Second point, not so obvious. While I am reviewing this title, please bear in mind, this is all I am collecting. I am not collecting any of the other spin-offs. So if there's stuff in here that I'm not aware of happening because it's not explained because it's in other comics, I apologise. I am just one person. I can't afford to get all these spin-offs. I know, and I've been told there are some great spin-offs from this Flashpoint, but I just can't afford it, says he, just having bought this £6 Batman mug I showed you in the other video. So anyway, let us crack on with something I don't normally do, but I think this is worth it for this title. We're going to have a page-by-page review of Flashpoint 3. Let me start off by saying Geoff Johns and Andy Kubert, wow. Geoff Johns is writing an absolutely awesome kind of summer blockbuster hit of a story here, and coupled with Andy Kubert's artwork, it's just beautiful from all sides. It's just a joy to read and look at. There's no two ways about this. They seriously have put the time into this event book. This isn't crappy Brightest Day that trudged on for issue and issue without anything ever happening, nothing ever progressing. Here, and especially in this title, you feel a momentum, you feel things happening, you feel things coming on and moving forward. Oh, I've read this like 4 or 5 times. I love it. So, page 1. So what we get straight away, we're with Cyborg and in Detroit, and he's talking to the President of America, and we find out that their Cyborg has been, I suppose, employed by the government to collect all these superheroes of this universe to fight and stop Wonder Woman and Aquaman from their invasion plans and the whole war thing. And basically it looks like because they can't get Batman on board, there's no chance of this ever happening. So basically the president just says, well, I'm sorry, but we're going to send our lads in and sort it out ourselves, and they're clearly going to get massacred. And well, I guess Cyborg is out of a job, basically. And then we are thrown right back into where it ended, and the winceful full page, splash page of Barry Allen on the stretcher, covered in bandages, covered in blood, screaming out in pain. And the great thing about this, all he is interested in is getting back outside, making sure that this lightning strike will work and turn him back into the Flash. And you know, there are moments here where he's starting to remember things that he shouldn't be. He's taking on the memories of what his life is in this universe, and he really needs to sort out what is going on with him becoming the Flash and get that sorted out quickly. Otherwise, he's going to forget he needs to do that. So, you know, for all the pain he's under, Batman carries him back outside. And, I mean, even before he can get him in the chair, huge crack of lightning, and Batman is thrown out of the scene, and Barry Allen looks like this is it for him now. I mean, you know, lightning doesn't often strike twice, but if it does, if it didn't get you the first time, it's going to get you the second. So we have this huge explosion, Barry Allen falls to the floor, and we have this fantastic page paneling setup where, you know, you have Barry Allen's head fall to the ground. You see Batman, Thomas Wayne, being flung off the roof. He's heading down towards like a garden railing that's full of spikes, and suddenly you flick back and you're with Barry Allen, and in his eyes you've got that flash of lightning. He's the Flash, he's back! I'm not even a fan of the Flash. I don't think I've ever read an issue of the Flash, and this was getting me excited. Oh, and of course, whoosh, he's down there. He saves Batman just in the nick of time before he's skewered on this garden, metal garden fence. Then we're thrown into Lois Lane. She's in New Themyscira in the United Kingdom. She's trying to find the Resistance. She's not having a great deal of luck. And then suddenly, from the dark shadows, we hear this poetic, devilish voice, and it is Etrigan. And Etrigan, of course, is part of the Resistance. And you've got Grifter there. You've got the Canterbury Cricket. You've got Mrs. Hyde. And you've got someone else that I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry, you will put me right, I'm sure. So, she's found the Resistance. Her story is probably going to keep going on in the title that spins off from this, and you'll be able to tell me more than I would know about that. But I know things are going on elsewhere. Great. Back to Batman, back to Barry Allen. He is recovering fast now because obviously he's got his Flash powers back, so his body's rejuvenating and healing at a lot faster rate than ours would have, despite the fact he's got third-degree burns all over him. And he's in that costume, and you, again, lovely full-page splash page of him in his Flash gear. So what we're going to do, we're going to look and find someone who can help us in finding out what the hell's going on, how we can correct things and get this universe back to how it should be. Who's going to do that for us? How are they going to do that? Well, they're going to use this really outdated computer that Thomas Wayne has got. This is no high-tech Bruce Wayne stuff. This is probably on AOL for all I know, the speed this is going. But what we find out, and these are the little bits I really like, and give us, I think, hints to why the titles that are coming in September are going to be as they are. We find out about, obviously, Hal Jordan, who isn't the Green Lantern in this universe, is still Abin Sur, who's the alien. And, you know, Hal Jordan is just this ordinary pilot. Well, I say ordinary. He's, you know, he's still the old highball Jordan. And then we find out about Superman. At least Superman of this universe. And instead of him crash landing in a little provincial town called Smallville, despite the fact that it's been covered up and made out this to be a terrorist attack, Superman's rocket this time crashed in Metropolis. It's covered up so no one knows about it, and he's hidden away somewhere. But this is interesting because we do know that in the new Superman #1 that comes out, Action Comics, whichever one it is, this is Earth's first superhero, for one. So there were no superheroes, I guess, before this crash. But he's also a superhero that the world doesn't trust yet. Now, is this because of the attack on what happened to Metropolis? His craft crashing in there, this is why they don't trust him. And again, as we get on with the story, there's even more of a reason why. Anyway, we'll get to that. We then go to Cyborg, because Cyborg's the guy who's going to know where Superman is, so they can bust him out of this high security prison. And eventually, you know, they go down some sewers, because you've got to go through some sewers to get to a secret base. And they do. Again, there's some nice little touches as they're careering through all these corridors. They pass a room that has Subject 2 in it, and it's the skeleton of what looks like a canine. Now, is this Crypto the dog? Was Crypto there? Is this his skeleton? It's a nice little throw in there. It's nice. It's nice. And of course they come to this big door. It's got the huge S on that we all know and love. And they open it up. And it's a shock. You just expect to see the Superman we know, but you know, he's probably chained up in some kryptonite chains, so this is why they've been able to keep him safeguarded. But no, we see this thin, pale, gaunt man, and as the story progresses we find out obviously he's never seen another human being in his life. He's never seen the sunlight, he's never been outside, hence his weakened state. The sun gives him his powers. It's so well done. So there's a big escape. Obviously there's lots of guns firing, there's bands of armies of security guards out to bring back Superman. But our three intrepid heroes, you know, they bust him out and they're outside and he sees the sun for the first time. And of course the sun enriches him, it gives him his energy, it gives him his powers. And it's nice still to see, despite the fact that he has been locked up for so long. You know, he could have blasted all these soldiers out of the water, you know. They wouldn't have done anything to him, you know. He is Superman, he's got his powers back now. But no, he just disarms one and then he flies off. Pretty douchey really, because now he's left, you know, Batman, the Flash and Cyborg to take down what soldiers are after him. But what I did like here was you have this sense of them building up the Justice League. Obviously we already know Batman and the Flash and Cyborg is on the team, and Superman is eventually going to be as well. So you've just got to try and get Wonder Woman and Hal Jordan as Green Lantern and Aquaman on there, and I can see how this story is developing into, you know, it's fully fledged. There's no sense of what's happening here, why is that, doesn't work, no. It's just perfect. I'm gonna say it, it's perfect. This was a perfect issue from start to finish. It moved steadily along. There was no dragging of its feet. There was no labouring over points. It was bang, bang, bang. And this is what is great about this comic. And, you know, I was never, ever going to pick up this. I thought I'd been burnt forever and for good on events after Brightest Day. I really was. And Flashpoint 1 and 2 I didn't even pick up until the whole 52 was revealed, the whole new 52, but I'm so glad I did, because this is a stonking read. If you haven't started watching it, getting it, reading it, go back and get issues 1 and 2 as well. You will not regret this. It is a perfect read, and pray to God Jeff Johns isn't gonna screw this up in the next 2 issues. It's interesting that it is only 5 issues, because we all know how they like to spread out these big events, but this is tightly packed, tightly plotted, and the artwork's tight as well. Anyway, page by page, it's Flashpoint. What did you think of it? Was it as good as I thought it was? Did you think it was? I thought it was. It's my pick of the week. I've got to say that. Anyway, that's me out this week. I hope you've enjoyed my videos. Please remember, if this is your first time, subscribe, give it a like, put some comments down, tell people about it, tweet this video off, share it out into the world. And again, have a good weekend. Take care, folks. Bye.